So my Drew lock of the week, and I'll break this. I'll break this game down in depth because I'm so upset that this is the Sunday night football game. Not for any other reason than just because I won't be able to watch it because of my timings and because of my job. I'm gonna have to go to bed early, but then it means I can't watch Cowboys Packers. I mean, I'm just so upset about the whole thing. I'm just gonna have to completely reconstruct my whole sleeping pattern for this weekend because of how brilliant I think the Packers Cowboys game will be and how brilliant the Rams Lions game I think will be. All of the narratives going into this, obviously, with Matthew Stafford, with Jared Goff. Sean
Yeah.
McVay's come out and said that he thinks that they should have treated Jared Goff differently. They think they should have treated his exit differently, and they didn't handle it well. That's all good with hindsight, considering they won a Super Bowl the year after that. But all things considered, I don't think I've seen, obviously, as you said, there's an argument to make for every single underdog going into this week. I don't think I've seen a bigger underdog play than the Rams. Everyone's on the Rams. I'm seeing Rams money line picked everywhere. I'm seeing Rams +3 picked everywhere. Rams +3.5 was just bet down immediately. The over-unders at 51.5.
Mm.
I said to you last week that if we got this matchup and we did get this matchup, I'll be taking the Rams and the over, and I'm not changing my motivations here. I'm not changing my pick here. I'm going to stick with both of these things. I took the Rams at +3.5. Like it slightly less at +3, but I'd still take it. And I've taken the over at 51.5. The only asterisk to the over, I think, is how big of an issue Sam Laporta's injury is. It looks like he might play, he might suit up, but he's going to be nowhere near full fitness. And considering how weak the Rams are against tight ends, and because I think Sam Laporta, there's an argument to say that he's been the best tight end in football from a
Yeah.
metric standpoint, from a yardage standpoint, from a touchdown standpoint. Losing him is so significant, but that only makes my play on the Rams a little bit sweeter, and that's why I like them. The Lions, and why I love the over, the Lions at home, 7 of 9 games have had 50 plus points. Against the Broncos, 59 points. Against the Bears, 57 points. Against the Panthers, 66 points. Against the Panthers, you had 66 points. All these teams have significantly worse offenses than the Rams. I think the motivation for both quarterbacks with the revenge, the atmosphere for Detroit, them all getting behind Jared Goff, the offensive weapons on display. We have Cooper Kupp. We have one of the greatest rookie wide receivers in history of the NFL in Puka Nacua. You have Amon-Ra St. Brown having a record season. You have Jamar Gibbs. You have David Montgomery. Both teams' passing defenses rank in the bottom half of the NFL. I think this game is going to be the feature game of the weekend. I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be an absolute bloodbath when it comes to going Stafford to Goff, Stafford to Goff. The obvious fear that we have is that Goff just completely gets lost in the lights like we saw in that Super Bowl and he gets taken apart by this Rams defense and Aaron Donald. But I just don't necessarily see that happening. I don't think the Rams defense is as good as it has been in recent seasons, despite how well Aaron Donald's been playing. And I think that the Detroit Lions will be able to throw on them. I think Amon-Ra St. Brown will have a big game. I'm going to take Amon-Ra St. Brown over 7.5 receptions. He's had at least 100 receiving yards in 56% of his games this season. He finished the season ranked fifth in targets, third in red zone targets, second in receptions, and third in receiving yards. Since week 13, LA, they've only really utilized cover 3 or cover 4, at least for the majority of their games. When St. Brown has that defense, he gets 30% of the target share, 37% of the first read share. I think he's going to have a huge game. And the other one, you mentioned him a couple of weeks ago. I think if Sam Laporta doesn't play, or if at least he is injured going into this one, Jamison Williams over
Yeah.
36.5 receiving yards. Like, I think those targets have to go somewhere. And I think the market is underrating Williams' involvement in this offense. And there's a good chance against this Rams defense that, as I said, utilizes cover 3, that he could have at least just one catch that goes for, say, 56 yards, and you've won your bet. I think he could even, I'll take it up to 70, 75 receiving yards. You can get that
Mm.
alt line in any at Fitzdares, and I think I'll take that out for about 3-1 because I think he could have a huge game in this one. And on the other side, Cooper Kupp going up against his secondary, Puka Nacua going up against his secondary. Just take your pick. And with this offense, with Kyren Williams playing the way he is, arguably the best running back of the latter half of the season, I'm going to take my Drew Lock as the over. I will also be taking the Rams. I took them at +3.5. I'll take them at +3 just because I think this game is going to be a field goal game. I think it's going to be a classic. I think we'll be talking about it for years. I think the whole setup with Stafford, with Goff going into it is just it's just box office NFL. It's why we love this game. It's why we love this sport. And I think this is just going to be one of those games which we'll be talking about for years.
I cannot wait for it. It's one of the most exciting games I can remember for all of those reasons. Our friend Marek Larwood, longtime friend of the show, all pro Marek Larwood, who, of course, many of you will know, are diehard Lions fans, years of dysfunction, years of disappointment, sent me a message uh, on Monday morning, which simply read, "The worst potential nightmare of the Stafford trade is about to come true." Oh boy. And you know what? I'm actually quite big on the Lions in this spot.
Are
But
you?
yeah, for the reason you've just outlined very, very coherently and eloquently that it's going to be a shootout. And I fancy the Lions for no other reason than they are built on the principle of being written off. That's how they've got this far so far. Goff, Campbell from the get-go. And you're right, everybody. And look, we called the Rams early on this show as a sneaky playoff team. Rams and the Bucks are always going to any opportunity we get to big ourselves up about that. And they both made it. And for all the reasons you said, it's a fascinating Rams side. One of the brilliant coaching jobs in recent memory from Sean McVay, no doubt about it. But this is what their Lions are all about. Everybody said they'd be a joke. Everybody said Campbell would last half a season and he was an unreconstructed old school drill sergeant joke. Jared Goff was a bridge quarterback that was going to be a year, 2 years at best. And he, okay, is not a top tier quarterback. He's playing the best football of his career. Yeah, Laporte is a big problem, but I think they'll get it done. Everybody, it's one of those situations where everybody
Is on the
is
Rams.
too sharp on the Rams. And I actually think that'll suck a punch in the Lions. But God, coin flip kind of pick. But I'm gonna take a little bit of action just for
I like that.
fun. And I want to back Marek as well. I want the Lions to win it badly. So definitely looking at that. Hey, listen, ChatGPT has got in touch with us. By the way, you mentioned prop bets, some more prop bets there. Fitstairs, you also mentioned them, our friends. That is the best spot if you want a prop bet. If it's not listed and Propo talks about alternate prop bets, alternate lines, just reach out to Fitstairs, friendly crew at Fitstairs, live chat, or you can phone them and request a specific number and they'll give you a price on it. I mean, what's not to love about that? So Propo is filling his boots there, which is great. Right. ChatGPT. Oh, I've made progress with ChatGPT in the last couple of minutes. So I asked ChatGPT to predict Eagles Bucks, didn't want to know. And so I said, come on, take a guess for fun. Didn't want to know. I've obviously really offended ChatGPT. So I changed tack a little bit. I said, oh, please, ChatGPT, please make a guess for fun. I won't be cross if it's wrong. That worked. Certainly, says ChatGPT. So here we go. You ready? The Eagles win in a close and thrilling game is ChatGPT's pick.